Hello guys and gals, welcome to another episode of Squad Morale Restored. My name is Daniel and today we are going to be looking at the latest offering. Well, it's not actually, but it's one of the offerings from Monolith Games called Mythic Battles Pantheon. So created by regular games designers Benoit Vogt and Stefan Kabinski. This takes us into the realms of ancient Olympus, where we take on the roles of gods who are trying to reclaim our thrones after the titans we imprisoned many years ago have escaped. But during the wars, we are kind of feeble, and we need to work out how we are going to rise again. So, as the blurb on the box says, strange things have happened during the chaos of war. Monsters and heroes, long thought dead, now roam the shattered ruins of Greece again. We must gather our forces and forge a new world with with you on the throne of the gods. Okay, so we've got a rather weighty tome, a weighty box rather, aimed at ages 14 and up. Hang on, me dogs. Okay. 2 to 4 players, and apparently the game will take 60 to 90 minutes. And yes, we've all been there before. The art on this is absolutely lovely. And hold on, I can't open it. Blimey, where's Hercules when you need him? Okay, actually this is Roman, so that'll be Heracles. Yes. Oh, blimey. Okay, so. Well, I struggle bravely with this huge, weighty box. Crikey me. Wow, that was a bit quicker than I suspected. Okay, let us see what we get within these hallowed... I keep wanting to call this a tome and hallowed pages, but this is more of a hallowed box set than anything else. So we have our standard box number 1. And yes, this was a Kickstarter set. So naturally it's difficult to get hold of various components now, which is kind of annoying. Especially if you come to the game late, or if you see this and think, ooh, this is interesting. I quite fancy a bit of this game. Okay, so we're not going to focus too much on the card and rules and stuff, but more on the miniatures you get. I think that's just empty. Okay. Okay, so we've got some empty card down the side. Just for packaging. And we do get some sumptuous... Okay, so 3D boards. Oh, a gigantic hand. Oops, hang on. Turn it around. It's so big I can't fit it on the screen. We have a gigantic hand, I believe, coming through. Yeah, so. Okay, you get an awful lot of stuff in the box. So, rule books, getting started guide, and so on. Actually, I'll put these board sections over here for the time being. We'll get this card out of the way. We'll file that in the recycling box, I think. That's tightly put in. Ah, a guide de démarrage. Hang on a second. Ah, right, okay, so we get the French version bundled in with the English language one. Livret de règles. Ah, so that's a rule book. Okay, so I'm assuming... Right, we're getting started. Okay, so in English, we've got the getting started rule book, nice and glossy. And a scenario... Oops. Oh, scenario booklet's being tricky, so let's just have a quick look at the getting started book. We've got some sumptuous artwork. Okay. Let's see. Well, we're going to take these out, like I said, because it's going to be awkward otherwise. The scenario booklet. Livre de scénario. Okay. And then we've got loads and loads. Alright, put this down here. Okay, dokes. We've got loads and loads of cards. Loads of cards. Interesting little grooves cut in them. And what's this? What's this? These aren't part of the. This isn't part of the game. Hello, little one. Okay, so cards to one side. Let's delve into the miniatures. Or try to. Okay, so as we. Hello, hello, little one. Right, you take a step back a little further. Right, so to the back, good girl. So we'll pull out. We're gonna pull. Never work with animals, is that right, Meg? Okay. So we have revealed the first set of miniatures that we get with the game. And you're checking them out for us, eh? Let's have a look at the... Okay, so we've got our tray of mins out. Let us take a look at what we've got. First, oh yes, my eye is drawn to this fella. Oh, nicely sculpted. Let's see, share the joints. So this, of course, is Zeus. Lightning bolts. Oops. Okay, so standing about, let me think, 3 to 4 inches, 3.5 inches maybe tall. And he's a fair wadger plastic. Impressively, his spear is nice and straight, so don't have to heat that up anytime soon. So taken from the front, it's got little wings coming out of his hairstyle. Traditional. Hold on. Okay, so traditional sort of Greek beard, or classical Greek beard and expression. Very well muscled. So look at the muscularity, to quote the bard, bardic broadcasts. Okay, so we've got the tunic or robes hanging over. We've got a lovely bit of Greek, the belt with the sort of the scrolling Greek knotwork, I'm going to say. This sort of torn cloth here looks really good as well. It adds a bit more character than if it was just like nice. It shows that they've been warring for quite some time. To the side, we've got a little bit of a mold line. It actually looks more obvious than it actually is. That'll be easy to clean up. That's an out of out. I'll get that cleaned up. Shield, very nice. That's a solid traditional kind of Greek shield. Yeah, very impressive. Let's take a quick gander down to the sandals. Yeah, looks really good. I think this guy's going to tower over some of the mortals. Let's have a quick look up at his... Okay. Yeah, very impressive model. Even if you don't play the game, this would be a nice model just to paint up to have on a shelf or something. Okay, so he's one of the gods. I think there's 4 gods in this set. Obviously this guy. Okay, so here we have Mars, I think. Mars? Looks like Mars. Warrior. Right, or is this guy Hades? Hang on, let's take a quick look. My little dog's having a big growl, so I'm assuming he doesn't think it is Hades. And then right, of course, you're right. This is Ares, the god of war. So, known to the Romans as Mars. It's all a little bit tricky because the sort of the sort of assumption is that you have like Greek gods and Roman gods interchangeable, just with different names. It's not quite true, and it's quite fascinating to look into it. So yes, you sort of have Mars as like Ares and Jupiter is Zeus, but when it comes down to the actual like mythology and timelines, it's not quite as simple as that. Okay, so here I have Ares, the god of war, and it's got a, like a, is this like a hoplite helmet? Fans of ancient Rome and Greece should get quite a bit out of this, because a lot of attention has been paid to the detail in these sort of helmets and armor and shields. Got a lot of cloak going on there. It's all about the cloak. Yeah. So, yeah. A very nice looking model. Yeah. Like how his focus back front. Like how his sort of head's looking over the top of the shield, so he's ready to strike. Interesting design on the knees. At first I thought there was a couple of crab things stuck to his knee pads, but I think that's sort of like some filigree type work. And it's sort of an optical illusion. The inside, the inside of the shield carries a lot of detail. Yeah. Okay, so that is Ares and Zeus. And our third character. Now here we know this guy is. This is indeed Hades. So the god of the underworld. Okay, so again, a very dynamic pose. It's about to hurl his, I'm going to say trident. No tridents only have three, but it's sort of got a little third spiky bit. I do love the poses. So again, we've got nice and dynamic. We've got sort of grubby and damaged tunic there. Some shapely calves. And a shield. Look at that. That shield is awesome. For something that's not carved in like resin, this is actually came out really well. I've tried to set the light up as well, so help pick out some of the shadows. Whoops. Not like Hank Marvin shadows, but yeah. There we go. Really get a good impression of how this looks. Quite like his little side bag there. And the detail of the shield carries through to the inside as well. That's good. It's a nice touch. Yeah. So, really good looking model. I like the greaves as well, where we've got like the the knee pads are sort of skulls. Yeah. Very nice. Okay, so that's Hades. So we've got Zeus, Ares, and Hades, and I think our fourth one is Athena, her of the owl. Okay, so let's take a good look at her. Again, the detail is tremendous. Thank you. Okay, so again, the detail is tremendous. We've got owl. Let's see if we get this in. Must get this in focus. I'm trying to show you. There we go. So we've got little owl motifs on her knees. And we have the strap that you put your hand and arm through for the shield. So that's a nice little touch. I love how this cloak is sort of falling over the front of the shield as well. So we do have a bit of a mould issue there, but again, that's fairly straightforward to clean up. Now, let's bring it a bit closer. There we go. Okay. So legs are well done. Finishing in some neat little sandals. Okay. Okay, so she's sort of draped luxuriously in. Oops. Ah! Sorry. So, okay, so she's sort of draped luxuriously in sort of the fabrics of the period, and we have a little owl. The owl always reminds me of Bubo from the Clash of the Titans film in the 80s, the little mechanical owl, which of course this is presumably what that was. Okay. Got hair in there. Hairy owl. Okay, so turn over. We've got a slight mold. The mold issue here tracks down the shield, so that should be fairly straightforward to remove. So like the Gorgon's head on the shield. Okay. Okay. Owl. The detail on the owl could be a little bit more, I suppose. Doesn't have quite enough feathers. But this looks good. We've got down this, the crest of the helmet, the brush. We've got a bit of a mold thing happening as well, but that's not straightforward to take off. Yeah, another very good looking model. Nice straight spear as well, unusual. So they are our gods. Let's have a look to see if I can find our heroes. So we've got, I wonder who we've got. Okay, right, we'll put a pause on the heroes for the time being. So this fella needs very little introduction. So this, of course, is the Minotaur. Half man, half beast. Well, half bull. Okay, so they've done a nice combo of basically making him sort of a much outsized human. I do like this rather bestial version of the head. We've lost a part of a horn as we've been going on. Yeah, good. That's a little bit comical. Would have probably been better without this here. Yeah, it looks a bit weird like this. It's just his tail's just poking through a little gap in the clothes. But I do like the stocky pose. Nice, nice muscular pose, and again, what threaded muscle there around to the neck. Yeah, guy means business. You can see where the joiners are the two different parts, so a bit of green stuff in there will sort that out. But yeah, really impressive. These little trays are quite good actually for putting your miniatures back into after use. Okay, so here we have now, I think there's going to be Medusa rather than just like one of the three Gorgons. Yeah, very sort of traditional looking Medusa. Quite a good pattern of snake scales here. Little rattlesnake tail end, reminiscent of the Ray Harryhausen movies. And of course, yep, she's an archer. Yep, very good. Of course, there's little snaky heads. That needs a little bit of either that needs to go in or this needs to come out a bit. Yeah, quite good. Little lower in detail than some of the other models. The face is really good. We've had a quick break there with Yon, Minotaur and Medusa. We also have the heroes, so we're going to start off with this chap. So, try and get some focus. There we go. So, here we have, so this is Achilles. He looks like he's dancing on hot coals, but actually he's in a rather impressive action pose, I think. Looks fairly action posed. Okay. Got his chest plate on. Nice shield. Sword looks a bit, I'm not too sure how accurate the sword is for the period. But yep, he definitely means business. Detail carries onto the back of the shield, which is always good to see, and straps on the arms are good. Yep, a fair bit of thought's been put into this. I think the artwork, the original artwork, that the 3D render, had a bit more detail on than this, but that's one of the problems trying to cast. It's more of a problem than the material rather than the sculptor. You're trying to put a lot of detail into something which doesn't like to hold the detail. Well, it doesn't like to hold really, really precise detail. But, okay, so that's Achilles. This chap should be fairly easy to identify. Has a little look of Thanos about him in the face, but from Marvel Avengers. Okay, so this is, of course, Heracles, the demigod. Born of man and woman. Well, no, that's not right. Born of Zeus and a lady. Okay. He tried to be poisoned or bitten to death by a snake by Hera, Zeus's jealous wife, when he was just a little babe in his cot. Okay. Okay, very nicely sculpted. It's got his wellies on there. I wonder why he's got such like hairy wellies on rather than sort of more normal sort of sword and sandals kind of approach. And he looks like he's wielding a club rather than a sword, which is good going. Got a little utility belt there. Very nice. Actually, I'm going to put these guys back. One of the tricky things with these is, although it's very good to put this stuff back into, if you forget where they go, it's a bit of a nightmare trying to work out where everyone fits. Okay, dog. So this guy's pose looks very familiar to anyone who likes the 300 films. This is, of course, Leonidas. Right, so he's one of the Spartans, as you might have guessed. So Leonidas is a suitably shouty expression. This is Sparta. And so on. Okay. Yeah, very nice pose. Again, nice straight spear, very unusual. And I'm kind of glad I've got my little light shining, because it's gone pretty much pitch black outside, even though it's only about 1 in the afternoon. But that's northeast winter. Well, it's actually still autumn, I think. Yep. Very nice model. Okay, so we'll put you there. Odysseus. Yep, the famed archer. I believe he was the one who could fire an arrow. I think did he fire an arrow through 12 the gaps, like the sort of the gaps in 12 axe heads in a row to prove who he was. Yep, got a little bit of a mould edge down the side and on the bow itself, but that's easy enough to tidy up. Interesting pose, actually. It's sort of very thoughtful. It's unusual for these kinds of models to have like anything other than like either stoically standing there or an action pose, but this is quite a thoughtful pose. Yeah, a rather nice figure. Yep, okay. And the final hero is this lady here. So this is Atalanta. Okay, so she's got a slingshot sorted out, like a parrying dagger or a little short sword. And oh, I forgot, yes, the bow, of course. Okay. Sword needs a little bit of a touch up to it. I'd have thought she'd be being a bit more muscular. The ears look a bit odd as well, they're sticking out and pointing down. Unless there's something about Atalanta I don't actually know, which is conceivably true. Okay, but yep, very nice model indeed. And that leaves us with some centaurs. Oh, these are good. Now, if I do say so myself. Okay, so like the torso and head of a man with the body of an horse. Right. Okay. The tricky thing with centaurs is trying to get the join between like the human and horse to look natural. Well, as natural as it can do for something like this. Do like the sort of the bird beak helmet as well. That looks really good. And the sort of the branches coming out from behind. Yeah, very nice. Interesting pose, actually, quite unusual. Okay, and the second one I believe is just the same, so it's like a duplicate. Who else have we got? So we've got the heroes, we've got these guys. So these are Leonidas's fellow Spartans. So goodly, a well-designed kind of shield. That came out really well. Very stoic look on the chap, which is what you'd expect. Very toned physique. And I do like these. Oops, I do like these sort of leather. This like leather strapping coming down here. Okay. I've been sculpted his toes on, which is good. Oops. Right on the back. Yep. So again, whoops. We've got the straps for the arm to go through to hold the shield, although there's no ditch on that side of the shield. But there again, I think these are made from beaten metal, so you wouldn't really expect additional detail back there. Okay, so I think we've got, now how many have we got? I think we've got 3 of the Spartans, and these are the Greeks. These are the Greek hoplites. Okay. With their standard spear formation and the little notches in the shields, which allows them to poke them through when they're en masse, side by side. Again, they've done a good job of capturing the feel for these like soldiers of ancient times. Just trying to work out if the shield is actually. At first, I thought the shield was Zeus, but then I think it's actually supposed to be more of a lion. Zeus with a bee-stung upper lip. Okay. And then we've got some more duplicate kind of characters. We've got 5 of these. So these are the Hellhounds. So I'm assuming these are Hades Dogs of War. Interesting design, actually. So it would be quite easy to have gone just for like some kind of wolfy type looking beast, but these are remarkably like almost like deer-like with the legs, very unusual, and the sort of skinny bones sticking out of the spine as well. Yeah, quite grim. Okay, dokes. Oh no, I said I had 5. No, I've got 6. Okay, then we've got these little fellas. So these are Hell Warriors with their picks. Look at the expression on. I'm saying look at the expression when I can focus. There we go. So just look at the expression on their faces, sort of quite tormented. Detail on these have come out really well, actually. The sort of depth on the muscles on the chest is really quite impressive. Yep. Yeah, very good. I have to get around to painting some of these guys. Okay. And the last, because there's quite a few duplicates of those as well. The last one, of course, is the Amazons. So let's start from behind. So we've got quite a large shield, which is nice. Notch again cut out, ready to stick your spear through to prod people if they come too close. Like the folds, nice bit of. But it's a bit unusual. So it looks like the robe, the cloak is like slightly too long, so it's like bunches up quite interestingly at her feet, which is another nice sort of thing you don't often see on sculpted cloaks. They usually finish just short of the ground. Well, for obvious sort of reasons, but stylistically this looks really good. I like how you have these folds coming off a hip as well. Okay, so turning them around. You also see, it's nice to see the Amazon's bow and arrows, of course. Okay, so a lot of detail. There's quite a lot of work going on with the hair, which is nice to see. Okay, the upper part up here's got some nice sort of textured patterns on the breast. Yep, very good looking models. Okay, so we have 4, I believe, of those. So before those, we have 4 of the Hell Warriors, 6 Hell Hounds. There we go. Let's put the back in. 5 Hoplites and 3 Spartans. And Daniel, who's trying to work out which order these guys came in. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so we'll just put this aside for a moment and take a look at the other, oh, crikey, weighty items. So we've got cards aplenty. As I say, this is more of an unboxing video for the models rather than the cards, so we might revisit that in the future. Some dice, interesting. Four swords, 2, 1. Well, that's some kind of a critical hit. It's a bit of a miss. Okay, so this has the last 2 models in. First being Cerberus, which is of course the 3-headed dog that guards the underworld. The head's like sort of some kind of mastiff, aren't they? Quite a substantial quite a substantial model. Crikey, that's a muscly brute, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. This one's sort of panting with its tongue out. Teeth on that. Wow. Very menacing. Again, of course, you can see that not the more line, they were the two parts of the model have been put together. But yeah, a little green stuff sorted. Oh, and one of my favourite. Come here, little monster. One of my favourite beasties from the mythology is, of course, the Hydra. Let's see what a good job they've done on this. Yeah, so we've gone for some slightly unusual kind of snake heads. The more sort of bestial and almost eel-like, the more like conger eel kind of faces than snakes, which actually look really good for this. Reminds me a bit of the graboids from the Tremors films. That sort of bit similar heads to those. Actually, the Hydra was the first model I had to go sculpting myself, which I made out of blue tack. Yeah, and then hardened off with some super glue. Okay. Right, so interesting. This sort of fin on the back is reminiscent of, I think, is it the Dimetrodon, the dinosaur? It's like got cooling fins down the back. Helps shed some of its body heat in particularly high temperatures. So the front of this, we've got some clawed hands. No, clawed feet, rather. And the back of these sort of like flippers. It's interesting. I'm not sure what these are. I'm not sure if these are supposed to be like lots of little snake tails, maybe. I'm not sure. Interesting. There's 3 there, 6. Because Hydra's usually 7 head, 3, 5. Only a 5-headed Hydra. And then on the end, we've got like more of a sort of an eely kind of tail. Well, maybe not an eel tail, but more of a sort of a fishy tail. Interesting. Intriguing design take. Okay, so they are all the models you get with this set. There are expansion sets. I think there's quite a few expansion sets for this. I'm going to try and get a hold of the Pandora's Box one and see what she has going. Oh, lost. How would you go? Would you go back in? No. Ah, does he go there? Right, there we go. Job done. Okay, guys. I would love to hear from you again, as always, in the comments below. Let me know if you have this game or if it's something you've considered. It is always a bit of a shame that they do these on Kickstarter only, because if you do miss the boat, it does get hard to actually get hold of it. Sometimes they do like this set, but it's like the expansions which are harder to pick up. So until next time, happy hobbying, and you guys take care of yourselves. Goodbye for now.